I'm Shinwag, as you may possibly know. Now with me, I've got a good old friend from the guild, officer as well, and his name goes by WoD.
Only dreams.
Only dreams indeed. Now I've been playing quite a bit on my level 100, though I did get to a point where I kind of missed the level 70 raids, not specifically because I wanted to feel strong again or whatever, but because I missed the group of people and the people that were part of it. So instead, I decided to bring some obvious thinking about a few questions. Firstly off, what will happen to the Twinks in WoD Draenor when the activity will start again? What our new possibilities are, and what are we going to miss out on? So what do you actually think will happen to the Twinks in WoD Draenor?
Hello. What I think will happen?
Exactly, yeah. Do you think the activity will go rising up again? Do you think anything will be happening wrong?
Well, eventually, right? Well, personally, I've had a lot of fun on my level 100 as well. I actually have logged on my level 70 once since the WoD Draenor release.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, inevitably, the activity will go back up. But the question is, like in my personal opinion, this is the best expansion there has been since like Wrath of the Lich King, like as far as how much fun I'm having. Mm-hmm. So I could see this expansion definitely having like an impact on the brackets activity, like permanently. But
now, of course, one of the reasons of the activity during 5.4 was just because of the droughts of content, of course.
Yeah.
Do you actually think Twinks will get a harder time finding groups again now that WoD Draenor is out?
Like in PvE, you mean?
In PvE, in PvP, either way.
I think the content is still fairly easy, so you don't really need the big groups to do anything. Unless you want to do like ICC or whatever. I don't even know if that's possible still.
Mm-hmm. It is, yeah, we've tried.
But in terms of like just doing Sunwall and stuff, I think it's still very easy to get a group for that, because you don't need more than like 10 people to do that. Well, if you had like even less than that, but good players, you could have even less, yeah.
Yeah, we can possibly 5-man it, so I've heard. Now, talking PvP-wise, do you think there will be some changes in the game, because it's always the same people that you meet?
Well, the PvP community for the 70 bracket was kind of a bit ruined with the pre-patch, because all they had was skirmishes, well, which is still the case, obviously, because the season hasn't started yet.
Mm-hmm.
And the big problem was that you faced level 79s as a level 70.
Yeah.
Which sucks because you can't hit them, and yeah, like most of them are trash, so you can still win like the majority of the games, but it's just really frustrating, like missing a blind or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually played a skirmish today, well, a few skirmishes today on level 70, and they actually fixed that. Everyone is getting scaled to 79, and that even means you get a third glyph slot inside arena, which is amazing.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I faced loads of level 79s, and you can hit them perfectly, and you can, like, they don't detect you in stealth from across the map or anything. It's like playing against other level 70s. Your gear even gets scaled up, so that's pretty good. As far as rated arenas goes, like, I don't even know if we have them yet, because when the season starts, we'll know. But
yeah, obviously.
Because there's been a lot of mixed rumors about that.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, obviously the activity will go back up as the expansion gets a bit older.
Yeah, obviously, because as I said before, now looking at it on an optimistic side, I don't think we'll have a whole year of contentless happenings again during the expansions. But if it does happen, it will probably end up being the same, where the Twinks will be just boosting massively. It's quite obvious to say the glory days were in 5.4, where everybody just made a Twink because they've seen the end game for too long, and they just wanted to try something old again. Now, a second reason why I think the Twinks will be going into an inactivity state is because the WoD Draenor was actually focused to the people who were missing the TBC glory days. I'm not saying that this is just like TBC back in days, but the lore is around the same kind of idea, and it's literally purposed to drag the people who liked the Burning Crusade, to drag them back into the World of Warcraft.
Yeah, kind of. That's a valid point, but I don't know.
So, as said before, activity won't be getting much higher than we had once. At least that's my expectations. And let's just face it, endgame is becoming a lot more interesting these days, and the 70s will just get back drafted.
In terms of like the content starvation, or what you want to call it, like when there's a huge period of time with no content, like we saw in Mist of Pandaria, I think that has potential to happen again, just because I think they cut down a lot on the WoW development team. Like I think there's a lot less people working on the game than there used to be, and that's part of the reason why there was such a huge gap in content. And it could happen again, but again, like we saw the subscription count went up to like 10 million again on launch, right?
Yeah.
So that could mean they put more people into the WoW development team. Who knows? But even if that happens, I think with Warlords of Draenor, people are still going to be able to keep themselves busy at level 100, even with no content. Or little content at least, because of the garrisons, you know? It's like,
yeah, indeed. The garrisons do have a big change.
It's like a Facebook game, and you just want to keep coming back to it.
It's like playing Travian in some kind of way.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
yeah, that could affect the activity as well.
Now, do you actually think that the Twinks will get a big change in the future? Like we've had, for example, a change where item level made a matter in PvE. And as you know, during 6.0, basically, like 5.4 to 6.0, there was a massive change for the Twinks. Do you think there's potential of, once again, there becoming such a change where people will have to re-gear their armor and change around?
Not in Warlords of Draenor, I think, well, if anything happens, there you can revert the stupid item level system. To anyone who doesn't know, basically, the higher item level you have inside an instance, the more damage, healing, and damage reduction do you have. So
yeah,
it basically makes having like creative gearing completely, like it just throws creative gearing out the window.
In PvE terms, yeah, in PvE terms. In PvP terms, I'm not sure item level actually makes a change there, does it?
No, it doesn't. So there's still like, you can still like find interesting unique items and stuff in PvP and use them. But in PvE, it's like higher item level equals better for the most part. There's some very few exceptions if there's some items with a lot of gem slots or whatever. But yeah, I don't like that system at all. I think it's stupid.
Well,
especially, when you see items like the Mist of Pandaria trinket, the tornado thing with item level 400 that has no level requirement.
And there was this, for a short while, the engineering trinket from the garrisons, which was item level 600 even.
When I heard about that, my initial thought was like, I'm never going to return to this bracket ever again. But luckily they fixed that. So. Yeah, that was really bad.
I have done some minor research around the events and the ideas, patches, updates in World of Warcraft. And I think the first signs of reactivity will happen around the beginning of January, because, the reason behind that is the end of the party seasons. Christmas went over, Wintervale ended, as I said. New Year's Eve will be past, 10 years anniversary ends for the World of Warcraft. People have done their weekly LFR by then, because that's the fourth week, the fourth thing will be out, so relatively everything will be going smooth again. And unless a new patch comes out by then, I think it's safe to say that we might see the first specks of activity in the beginning of January, somewhere in the second week. Would you actually agree on this idea, or do you think something else might happen a bit earlier, a bit later?
It could happen, but it depends a lot. A lot of the level 70 bracket is PvP focused, right?
Yeah.
Like, the majority of the bracket, I would say, is placed for PvP.
Most of all,
and PvP in Mist of Pandaria endgame had the reputation of being kind of bad. Everyone was like, oh my god, the game is so bad right now,
Yeah.
But if that's different in Warlords, if the overall opinion on PvP will be positive, then I see the bracket being a lot more inactive in terms of PvP.
And going to that topic, what would you say would actually make PvP interesting again for level 70s?
Well, right now, I think it's really interesting, actually. As I said, I played a couple of skirmishes today.
Yeah.
And just having 3 glyphs at level 70 is actually amazing.
Makes
I was playing Rogue.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have access to the cheap shot glyph because there's no fucking scribes on the entire realm who can make that, apparently. But Yeah, I was playing with the Glyph of energy, you know, and combined with the Brutal full set, which is still 30 energy, even though the endgame full set isn't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's actually crazy potential
Yeah,
for
obviously.
energy pulls at level 70. Like, Brutal full set plus Gnome Racial plus Assassination plus the Glyph. That's like, I don't even know, man.
195 energy or something, was it?
That's with Venom Rush as well. 196 is the max you can get, but that's for the level 100 talent.
Nah.
So, I don't know. It would be something a bit less than that, but whatever. That's crazy. It's like, you can't even, if you spam ambush on a full subterfuge, you can't even spend all your energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but
yeah, it depends on level 100 PvP.
I see. So it's basically just, if level 100 goes fine, then level 70 will be working fine as well. Is that the general idea?
I'm saying if level 100 PvP will be really good, then level 70 will take a huge hit in activity, in my opinion.
All right. Now, I started Shinwag with someone earlier, asking, do you think Warlords of Draenor will offer us new opportunities? Now, his answer was no, not at all. I would actually say that's a lamentable terminological inexactitude, or in fact a lie. Obviously, I already tried killing mobs in Draenor, and by sure it's actually possible. I killed a rare in there on my own, and
yeah,
I just realized that this even seemed easier than the Mist of Pandaria rares. So I'd like to actually hear the opinion. Do you actually think it will be possible for Twinks to gather up together and start some kind of a raid over to the Warlords of Draenor, into Draenor, say for example like Grant or something, into these kind of areas to kill rares?
To kill rares, sure. Obviously we can't enter the instances themselves. You saw the when they announced the item squish or the number squish first, right?
Yeah.
You saw like the graphs they put out that before the squish, there was like a huge rise suddenly towards like when you reach level 80, it would like suddenly go up in power like by every level a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And after the squish, you basically, it's a steady curve towards like the entire like level from 1 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
So that just means, yeah, like there's not a big difference between Mist of Pandaria mobs and Warlords of Draenor mobs in terms of health and damage. Whereas in the past, we've been used to like, okay, it's a new expansion, so the new mobs are going to have like 10 times as much health and 10 times as much damage, and we're going to have 10 times as many stats. But that's not the case anymore. It's just going to be a small increase.
Yeah, the same gradual following it would have from 71 to 80 and then so forth.
Yeah, like I'm running around in Frostfire Ridge right now. I'm looking at that mob. It has 52k health. That's the same as a fucking Front Warrior who's stacking stamina, you know, at level 70.
Yeah.
So that's like nothing. So of course it's going to be possible. Of course hit is going to be a big issue, especially now that you can't like gem for it or anything, can't gear for it. It's not an actual stat anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that works, how that's going to work. But
as far as it works, now I've only done this on my warrior so far, but working in protection spec, I only miss about 40% of all my hits. It might be possible that's just because I'm a tank and I've got extra hits. I'm not sure about that, but it did seem quite possible to actually attack the targets.
It's probably going to be a lot harder for spellcasters. At least in the past, it's always been an issue with spellcasters
it always has been.
Hitting high-level mobs. Hunters has always been the preferred DPS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they were ranged. They did the highest DPS as well. They were ranged and physical damage, so they didn't miss as often.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but I guess that's a non-issue then. Like you're just gonna have to deal with missing a lot. Mm-hmm. As long as it's possible to hit them mobs at all, yeah, it's fine. But yeah, of course, Warlords of Draenor is gonna open up PvP. I mean PvE opportunities for the level 70 bracket.
Right.
If that's what you want to do.
Obviously, we have to try every kind of possible way, don't we?
But although I do want to say that the few rares that, I've actually fought a lot of rares in Warlords of Draenor, they don't really seem to have a lot of interesting tactics at all.
Not really, no. There were some mobs that I've seen, but not as much as the Mist of Pandaria rares, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Like it seems like the Mist of Pandaria rares were actually like more complicated in terms of tactics, which is a shame.
Yeah, but we might see a change when Tanan Jungle comes out. Maybe there's a big difference over there.
Yeah, maybe.
But then, last but not least, of course, as Twinks, many of us won't live through every day, especially with Marvel's Draenor coming out. Most of us play the end game, which I think we know. So, going to the question, will Twinks miss out on anything? Much like, I would actually say in a positive way, we missed out an engineering trinket, or many of us did at least. Do you think we might actually miss out on some positive things as well? Things that actually do work well for us, considering that we are busy in the end game?
I don't know, man. Pass. So, maybe, potentially, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see that in the future then.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, like on Wallace General launch, right?
Yeah.
Well, as soon as I could play, so about 4 days after the launch, I was actually really like hooked in the level 100 stuff, and having a lot of fun with it. And my thoughts at that time was like, okay, I see no reason to coming back to 70 right now. And I know a lot of people have actually pretty negative looks on the 70 bracket right now after having fun with 100. But after having played today, some skirmishes and stuff, I actually could see myself returning if... Well, I have some plans of playing some threes and stuff with some old friends on the 70 bracket at level 100. But if it turns out that PvP is a bit boring, or if I just get tired of it, then I could definitely see myself returning to 70 like relatively quickly.
Right. So that's pretty much all the questions have been covered. Is there anything you'd like to add to this in the end?
Is this going on Twink Info?
It might, yes. I think I will put it on Twink Info.
I want to add unban only dreams, please.
We'll see what the responses are on that. Anyway, that's pretty much about it, to be honest.
All right, man.
So, thank you for watching. If you did survive through the whole video, then I congratulate you, and you will get a free Medal of Patience from me through your...
How long did we go for?
About 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Are you gonna put the sound test clip at the end?
Yes, I'm going to put that in the end, just for the joke of it.
Okay, great. Amazing. Okay.
So I guess that is your reward for going through the whole video.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Good luck.
Good luck.
And stay twinking.
And I'll see you next time.
If you like recorded the entire episode and then it's like...
You've only got my voice, yeah.
You're talking to yourself.
Just keep talking. I'm retrying.
Hello, 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 hello.
Yes. When I said keep talking, I didn't say hello from different distances, because you aren't going to remember which distance you said the best hello at.
Well, basically, I just moved my head back and forth.
Oh, amazing.
So, like, I expect my head to move back and forth like that during the podcast as well.
Oh, I see. Okay, makes obvious sense. Of course it does.